Hello! My name's Hebby, and I love dragons, and I love Wings of Fire, a book series all about dragons. And it really is all about dragons. There's 400 characters, and I have committed to making some percentage of those into a huggable plushie. This challenge follows some basic rules. I will be doing every character who is important, which is a bit of a subjective grading, but it will definitely include every character who is front and center on the book covers that is not Sandstorm. It's also in alphabetical order, mostly. There is going to be some major deviations soon, I suppose. Like, immediately soon, like next video. And I will also try my best to remain accurate to the character from their description in the books, appearance on the covers, graphic novels, random how to draw dragons spin-offs, colouring books, bag hangers, and a big old heaping of whatever I feel like. So far in this challenge, we have made Anemone, Orclet, Albatross, Arctic, Blister Blaze Burn, Battlewinner Blue, Cliff Ruby, Chameleon, Cricket, Coral, Clearsight, Clay, Carnelian, Calamity, My OC, Dune, Dusky, Manslaughter Container, Darkstalker, 31 now completely named Seawing Princes, Dragon the Cat, and Fate Speaker. And last video I forgot to say Fate Speaker's evil score. It's a 0 out of 10, by the way. I skipped reading it when I was doing my recordings and didn't notice. And now it's time for a good old whirlpool punishment. For this video, I shall be politely asking Darkstalker to enchant Whirlpool to dance for days and nights on end until he drops dead of exhaustion. Thank you to my Whirlpool Hate Club members for being true haters of the highest order and supporting me with cash monies whilst making all of these plushies. 8-Bit Beetle, The Wait Zaranek Fluffle, Skywing Dad, Phoenix Fire, and Ninja Kitty Awakens. But now, let us begin with this video. It's time for Flame, an actual F-name character. Flame is a red Skywing. Great, we need more of those. Although he isn't described like this in the books, he appears in the graphic novels with this grey-black stripe down his back, nose, and legs, which is very unique, so I approve. He also has a big scar on his face, which leads me to spoiler warning for Arc 1 and Arc 2, and just like, spoiler warning for the whole thing. All of Wings of Fire. Spoiler warning. Although he is a side character, I will be discussing a bit of the lore, which I guess is true of all of these videos, but I think this one spoils some culprits of some mysteries, so I have things to say about this character. I read and reread the second arc years apart, and something had gone terribly awry in my brain. If you can't remember Flame, he was a false dragonet of destiny, picked out by the Nightwings and the Talons of Peace to replace Glory in the prophecy. He attended Jade Mountain for some horrible reason, and was a suspect in Carnelian's murder, but he was actually guilty of a different, unrelated attempted murder on Stonemover, as proven by Darkstalker with magic, not detective skills. Since I'd first read these books so long ago, I could remember that Flame was the one who attempted to kill Stonemover, but the problem was that I couldn't remember why. And so in my half-remembered reconstruction of the events, what had happened was actually Darkstalker compelled Flame to try to kill Stonemover with animus magic, sort of framing him, and Flame was only prevented from committing the murder by Moonwatcher's visions. Otherwise, Darkstalker was attempting, and nearly succeeding, to get rid of all of the other animus dragons which would have posed a potential threat to him. It would be logical for Darkstalker to remove the other animi as soon as possible. He knows an animus dragon has ultimate power and can easily take over the will of anyone they so choose. Even if another animus couldn't hurt Darkstalker directly with spells, they could still zombify his friends and make his life worse. So I thought Darkstalker was framing Flame, who was already on the D- student list and nobody trusted him or had high expectations of his behaviour regardless, so that he could get away with an assassination attempt if he was foiled. And you know, if he succeeded, then a threat to his reign would be eliminated, and it wouldn't even appear like his fault, because Flame would have done it. It'd be a win-win situation for Darkstalker, since there's no evidence he was even involved whatsoever. And nobody would bother believing Flame on anything, honestly. But, no, that's not what happened. I don't even know why I thought that was what had happened when I misremembered it, because what actually occurs is totally literal. And Darkstalker is actually completely in the right in this situation. And he even catches the bad guy, impressing everyone. Despite his ability to read minds, he uses magic to do this, which makes his closest and onlyest friend, Moonwatcher, unhappy. And despite the uneasy vibes, he's not even really doing anything that wrong. He's just got a creepy aura in the general sense, and that's all. And the real reason is that Flame just straight up tries to murder a random old guy out of pure random violence? Mindless jealousy? Really, he says it's because he's mad that Stone Mover didn't magically fix his face, when he just asked Darkstalker for it and he got exactly what he wanted, and could just, you know, not ruin it for himself with zero reason when he's got a good thing going, like any reasonable character with a grasp on sanity or events or like any thoughts behind their dumb orange eyes whatsoever. You can see why I thought this was a mind trick and a fake answer, because it just seems like Flame wouldn't be such an idiot. But yeah, I suppose in canon Flame is an idiot. Like, how does he get up in the morning and not trip over his own tail kind of idiot? You might hope that he would have to be slightly intelligent to be a doctor in the Sky Kingdom, but apparently they just let any brainless banana slug wander in and start operating. Because it actually was Flame who was interested in healing, not the other red battle-scarred Skywing, whose business it would seem to be. Oh, and there's another red Skywing who also wanted to be a doctor. Did they run out of jobs in the Sky Kingdom? Or did none of them think to be like a chef or a carpenter? Anyways, maybe Flame was only interested in being a doctor to fix his own face, as was implied in the text. And if that was always the case, then I suppose he was actually an extremely one-dimensional character, meant to convey nothing but vanity and bloodlust, who I accidentally, it seems, projected a way more intricate and sensitive personality onto in the absence of any other motivations that seemed like they made sense. Like, I suppose the crumbs are there. Sunny suspects he could be a different dragon given some love and patience in her book, but like, he gets love and patience and understanding and a second chance coming to Jade Mountain and having his mother also love him. And yet, he just uses it as an opportunity to be belligerent and increase his meager involvement in the plot. And I think I read a little too far into his character and expected him to, you know, have an arc. Maybe one in which he initially feels disrespected, ignored, not taken seriously, like he's looked down on as a violent, ugly brute, and second in line for a prophecy that isn't even real in the first place. I did say spoilers. And so then, once he's been framed for a crime he did not commit, but nobody defends him as he has no friends and nobody expects anything more from him, he gets driven away. And then the Jade Mountain gang could come across Flame later, and perhaps he's confused and lost because he was Animus enchanted, but Darkstalker didn't think of what to instruct Flame to do after controlling him or whatever, because it's no longer his problem. So maybe Flame is hurt and can't remember exactly why he had been sent away, but had the feeling everyone hated him. And they could give him a chance and learn that he was mind-controlled, essentially. They could learn that they were wrong for judging Flame poorly based on him being grouchy and having low self-esteem. And Flame could stop treating others poorly for his own internal issues. Because being kinda sad and cranky is no excuse for how horribly he mistreated Fatespeaker and every dragon he knew. But he did have confidence problems, that's for sure. Confidence problems unaddressed, apparently. I mean, he even thinks that his mother sent him away so that she could avoid looking at his face. But that seems untrue since Avalanche sacrificed her position amongst the Skywings to live with dragons that she clearly hates as part of the Talons of Peace and in a place where she feels lonely, just to save Flame from the Skywing army draft. And also they clearly loved each other when they were reunited after Flame was taken to the Nightwing Island. It seems Avalanche just sent Flame away to school for the reason anyone sends someone away to school. To learn and have some life experiences. Flame is just acting on an incorrect, preconceived notion that lowers his self-esteem, and nobody cares about him enough to make him understand that's not how others feel, particularly his mother. I understand why she sent him away though. Flame does have a lot to learn, a lot of perspective to gather, and also he seems like an extremely cranky handful of surly scales to deal with on a daily basis, and I would not care if he did get drafted if I was his mother. But, you know, she's clearly doing her best with what she's got. But, he never gets better. In fact, nobody even cares. I don't think anyone pays attention to him anymore. Because he sucks. Yeah, that's right. He sucks, and is also an idiot. The only characters who slightly like him are Sunny and Fate Speaker, and as I said in her section, Fate Speaker should not like him. He doesn't deserve attention from her. He was terrible to her, and he has no friends for a reason. Because even though he liked Viper, potentially as a friend, when she died, he literally didn't care because he saw her accidentally scratching his face as some sort of pre-calculated attack. Because he cares more about the scales on his dainty little nose than he does about her entire life. So yeah, nobody should put up with Flame right now, possibly ever, if he continues on this trajectory, because he's not a good friend. And he's really not worth the hassle of getting through that prickly exterior, because it's more prickles inside. Or maybe it's nothing inside. But even despite all that, Sunny sees some light in him. Light she shouldn't see because he fails at every turn to prove himself even as mediocre. And also tries to kill Sunny's father for what sounds like but apparently is not a fake reason. The Dragonets of Destiny save his life and all he can muster is selfish wallowing. Just wallowing in his own self-imposed thoughts of misery. Flame is lame. Oh, and here's another thing. As for the Arc 1 spoilers, Flame gets his face scratched by Viper by accident, which permanently disfigures his face, and he put a lot of his personal value into being beautiful, and this event forces him to face a reality, haha, in which his ego is shattered. Oh, except it's not permanent. They fix his face, and he literally never learns to live with it and grow as a character. In fact, he doesn't learn at all. Like, anything. He learns nothing. And I made him with the scar, because you know what? He should have figured out how to make his life work, even when it fell apart, rather than just getting a pass and then being thrown out, never to be seen in the plot again. That's a 6 out of 10 for evil. Some points for attempted Nightwing murders, since I'm also counting Starflight's attempted murder and Fate Speaker's attempted murder in there. Some points for utter callous disregard of every dragon around him, including his potential friends, dragons he owes his life to, and of course his own mother. But ultimately, if any other points are left unexplained from that, then the rest are from complete, unfiltered, unabashed, wasted potential. He is pure, miserable failure, condensed into the shape of a dragon. Whew! This is the most heated I've felt since the Whirlpool video. What a useless snotball of an annoying side character. A side character who tricked me into thinking he would carry some deeper meaning about changing for good and trying to be the best you that you can be, despite being at a disadvantage due to your poor mental health or whatever. But no, it wasn't about that. He only proved that he was an utterly useless waste of space, and I hope he gets taken out by the next asteroid that strikes Pyria. He had some really interesting elements to his issues. He's self-conscious in a way that is obvious to observers, and also self-sabotaging in a way that he himself cannot seem to recognize. It feels a little like watching a baby try and put a square block into the round hole of one of those puzzle games for infants. And, I hope Flame either figures out his entirely self-caused problems and becomes not insufferable, or he's retroactively proven to have been framed all along by a malevolent Darkstalker ghost. I don't care. My fantasy version of Flame was real to me until I reread the series and realized I was seeing shapes in smoke. It wasn't real, it was shadows on a wall. In canon, Flame was always a dumb, grouchy, arbitrary and inflexible thorn directly in the backside. And man, that sucks. I didn't think I'd have this much to say about Flame, but there you go. Anyways, now we're done with this slime-brained snail. Actually no, we're not done. He can't go on the shelf like this. His name is alphabetically right near Fate Speaker, and if I let him on there now, he's gonna make her cry. But I have a perfect remedy for this. I need a plushie to take with me on an overnight field trip for class, and Flame needs to be socialized like a puppy. So it's road trip and adventure time! Woohoo! No more activities. Why would you die? Why would are the clothes dead? Do they have ghosts too? No, it's stupid.
You die in the post.
Just
like
I'm trying to
die
film a
in the
video.
clothes you wear.
No, it's not how it works. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Back in the video.
I know. I'm gonna have to cut the audio out because you guys are too dumb.
We're talking about naked ghosts.
Exactly.
just put a tally on the dog?
There was boobies, just like we think that's still. 5 cormorants.
So we're gonna give food to the poor orphan child now.
It's lunch break.
I don't want to say.
Thanks for sharing. I went out to explore the world a little bit at night because it's not my 8th grade camp anymore. Plus the dragon will protect me. Do not. Go away. It's delicious mousse. Yum 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 yum.
What did we talk about on the video on the bus? Ghosts?
It was naked ghosts. Don't bring that up again.
We're in exactly the right spot.
This is perfect. Where do we have to go now?
Yay!
We're right here. 花火大好きだって。花火大好きだね。
そうそう。なんかいきなりさ、花火作るみたいになりたいかもとか言い出したんやけど。
メイが？
Good night, moon. Good night, stars. Good night, dragon. Good night. Stop!
What's happening?
I can't believe that you're in a bunk that can touch me. Go away. Get out of here. Heavy metals, all sort of things out there. I promise I'm not gonna drop it. I'm holding on to him. I'm gripping him even. Wow! Hi whales! You're in the way, Sine. You're in the way. I'm trying to get a beautiful view of the sunset. Thank you. Heck yeah. Us is stopping at McDonald's. I have always wanted this to happen on a field trip. And now he's done. I do love making plushies with scars because they're fun to sew on, and I will either die clutching my tome of Flame Redemption fanfiction, or you will have to bury me alive to stop me from screaming from the rooftops about how cruelly I was fooled into thinking I would get one in canon by some combination of my own tricksy memory and Flame's obvious, extremely glaringly obvious, bright red button of a character flaw that was never addressed. So there you go. But since he's been sufficiently socialized, and I feel as if he will be a better dragon to have floating around in the backdrop, if not a better friend, I can finally let him go up on the shelf next to my girl, Fate Speaker. Well, people, it's been an utterly salty one this episode because I demand justice for the false dragonettes, all of whom were done severely dirty by the plot. I at least did the real and proper F-named ones. The other 3, Squid, Ochre, and the leftover cinders from my bonfire, are coming in the next episodes because they're still F for false dragonettes. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. You have all been very good eggs. Thank you to my Patreon members as well. A wet sloppy dragon kiss for each of you. Mwah! Although I already showed you the speed paint for the background of this video, and so I shall be showing you instead the speed paints for Indigo, Fathom and Clearsight as drawings. Thank you to Kimber, ADH Dream 1409, Kitten Mikey, Samuel Sanchez, Monodeer, and Ninkele Mason Grey, Solvi, Phoenix Fire, I Like the Dumb Bunny Shrimp, Finnick is here, Trooper Cat, Poppy Willow, Indigo, Woilies, Fantasy, Skywing Dad, Jit Gore, Aussie Shark, The Starving Child, Ninja Kitty Awakens, Lime Sharks, Caroline T, Copa, I love my fuzzy kitten, Vanessa and Anara Burrows, Verla, Misty Owl, Rhythm the Raptor, Aliana, T Copper Silver, Miffy, Victoria Toucan, Be the Cat, Racing Wolf, Grey Malkin, Gatto Catamoose, The Wait Zaranek Fluffle, 8-Bit Beetle, Anonymous Running Dragon, Nicole Sutherland, and Danger Noodles are cool.